Cool. So that means we're ready to start. First off, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to join this meeting and for participating in our travel agent tool demo. My name is Jeremias, and I am head of operations here at Mozio. I've been with the company for 7 years already. So um, we know and understand the value of travel agents in the travel industry in general. And being part of the travel industry, Mozio wanted to, since almost the beginning, I would say, give some value to travel agents. And that's how we created the travel agent tool, which is aimed mainly at travel agents so that you can use our services in a different way and be able to book for your clients, make commission, etc. So as part of this demo, we're going to go through some different aspects of our travel agent tool. First, we're going to look at how we create and set up a travel agent account. We're going to show you how you navigate the travel agent dashboard, how you can use our website to quote transportation services and book them, and how you add commission to a booking, and how you make changes or cancel a booking, right? So this is the Mozio homepage. In order for you to create a travel agent account, you have two options. Either you come here to the top right hand where it says travel agent, which basically opens up a different landing page where you can click on sign up now, and it gives you the registration form to create an account, or you simply come to sign in, you come to create an account and click on create travel agent account. It's the same thing, only with a little extra steps if you click on travel agent, which basically um, allows you to see some information about what Mozio does, who we partnered with, why you should use our travel agent tool and stuff like that. In order to create or in order to register your account, it's fairly simple. You first enter your first name, followed by your last name, then the email address that you'll use in order to log in, right? So I'm entering my information here just to show you how it works. Then you enter the country code for your country followed by your phone number, right? And then you enter a password. The password needs to be at least 12 digits long, and it needs to have the standards, right? So an uppercase letter, lowercase letters, numbers, and at least a special character. The next thing you'll do is enter your company name. And I know this is probably one of the tricky ones, one of the tricky fields that we have on this registration form, because Mozio being a worldwide company and us offering this travel agent tools worldwide, there are several situations that may come up. The first one being that your company name does not appear on the drop-down list. So when you start typing, you will see that if there's no company matching what you entered, it'll basically tell you no companies found for Jeremias Padilla, right? So you can create a new company by clicking on that button. Simple as that, right? That way you will be registering your company with Mozio. Now, say for example, you belong to, I don't know, a well-known company like Virtuoso, right? Who has different locations and different agencies across the world, right? If you start entering the name of your company, you may find that there already exists an entry for your travel agency. What does this mean? That somebody else, either a manager or a coworker or maybe the owner of the agency, has already created at least one profile with Mozio. So if you know that is the case, you can simply click on that link, on that entry, right, for the specific company, and you'll be associated with that agency. Say, for example, a coworker already did create an agency at Mozio.com, and you don't want to be a part of that agency. How do? You simply enter a different name. Say, for example, the name of your company is Mozio Virtuoso. but you want to add your own thing, right? So you enter JP, for example, as your initials, or you enter a number, something that you'll remember in order to remember what your company name is, right? Now, probably some questions come up when we talk about joining a company or creating your own company. And I think the main question is what are the benefits of joining an existing company versus creating my own, right? Some companies, some travel agencies are larger in groups, right? So they reach Mozio telling us, hey, we are a large travel agency. We wish to work with you, but we would like to set up some certain conditions, right? So different travel agencies that have already created an account with Mozio have reached out to us and they've negotiated certain conditions. And these conditions can be beneficial, like, for example, uh, preferential rates or different sort of settings for their travel agencies, different type of features and different type of filters for the results that their travel agency, right? On the other hand, some of the conditions that these companies have negotiated with Mozio are a little restrictive. So your travel agency may prohibit you from changing, for example, the amount of commission that you can tack on to a reservation, or they can restrict you from withdrawing your commission to your PayPal account and instead have it being withdrawn to perhaps a master account, right? So if in doubt, always check with the people in charge of your travel agency whether an account has been created and whether there are special conditions and what those special conditions are to ensure that you agree with them, that you will actually benefit from them, right? And whether they match what you're looking for with a Mozio tool, right? So I already have an account. So in order for me to access my account, I simply come here to the sign in button and I click on sign in and I enter my credentials. So let's do that. Here we go. So once I enter my credentials, it takes me back to that page because I was there, right? But if not, it'll take me back to the Mozio homepage, right? Now, if I wanted to access my dashboard, right, because each travel agent has a dashboard, what I would simply need to do is come here to where it says My Bookings. So when I click on My Bookings, the first thing I see is my dashboard. In this specific case, I don't have any future rides that I've booked under this account, but I do have some past rides, right? So under past rides, I can see the rides that have already taken place. For example, this ride from Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris to the Ritz for my customer, Jeremias Padilla, right? I can click on the details of that ride and I can see all of the information related to that specific ride. If I go back to my bookings, I can also click download report and it'll allow me to download a report of the bookings that I've made on different dates of the year, right? For example, I can download it according to when I made a booking or when, sorry, or when the traveler is, whether when the passenger is traveling. So I can toggle between booking date and travel date if I want to know, for example, which bookings have taken place between May and June, or which bookings I have actually made during the month of May and June. I can also choose to include the information for the bookings for which I've withdrawn my commission, right? I can either include it or exclude it. When I click on submit, it'll basically download an Excel file showing me all the details for each of the bookings that I've made. Continuing with the dashboard, which you access by clicking on My Bookings, you can go to My Information. And here you'll see your personal information. So here you have your first and last name, your email address, your phone number, the default currency that you currently see when you go to Mozio.com, and the language that you see when you go to Mozio.com. You'll see that here, for example, I default to US dollars and I default to English, right? Even if I'm in France, and I would probably be better off picking up Euro from here and French from here, right? Now, this doesn't mean that I can never opt for Euro or for USD in the future. It simply means that in order for me to do so, I can come here to the right, the top right-hand corner of the screen, and toggle the language to whatever language I prefer to see the page in, right? One of the main benefits of Mozio that our partners have mentioned is the fact that we offer support, or we offer versions of our website in a multiple amount of languages. The same goes for the amount of currencies that we support. So if you prefer to use a currency different from USD, which is the default, Mozio being an American company, you can certainly pick the local currency for your area. We support a number of currencies, so you can pick from the drop-down list, or you can update it from the default on your profile information. That way, whenever you log in to Mozio.com, any result you see will be displayed by default in that currency. Scrolling down to My Account, you have your agent profile, which shows you the company that you're affiliated to. If you have a tax ID, you can specify it here. And here you can toggle the amount of your commission that you'll add per booking. You can do it by a fixed amount. Say, for example, for each booking that you are making, you want to add $10. You can simply add a fixed amount. You enter it here, you save changes, and it'll add that $10 to all of your bookings. Or you can do it based on the cost of the reservation. In this case, for example, I've made it so each time I'm going to make a booking, it'll add a 10% tack on to my reservation. That way, that's going to be my commission, and I don't need to think about changing my commission each time I'm going to book. I know it's always going to be 10%. If I keep going down, I can see my company information. And this is my account right now is the master account of Mozio Inc. So I have this power here, which if you don't have a master account, you have a simple account, you wouldn't have. So for example, as you can see, the master can control whether the earnings are paid to the master account or they're paid to the individual travel agents, and whether you can change or not the amount that you'll be making per booking, right? So those two powers are inherent to the master account if your agency has set one up. Scrolling further down, I have customer profiles. So being a travel agent, you probably have a set of customers you typically work with, right? So because entering the information over and over again is often like a lot of work, right? Particularly if you're booking a long trip for a customer and they need at least 5, 6 rides, you may not want to enter their personal information over and over again each time you're booking a ride. So we allow you to save their profile, and that way have access to their information on the booking page quickly, just selecting their profile. Scrolling further down, we have the payment information. So here is where you would typically state where you want your commission to be paid. So for example, if you don't have a master account and you have the ability to withdraw to your personal PayPal account or your professional PayPal account, you can do so. Unfortunately, for the time being, we're only offering withdrawal to PayPal. In the past, we used to have the ability to withdraw to a bank account. Unfortunately, that's no longer the case. Uh, we're always looking for ways to make the tool better. So that doesn't mean that it'll always be PayPal. If in the future we're able, again, to offer withdrawal to bank accounts or to other financial methods, we may be able to do so. But for the time being, unfortunately, it's only to PayPal. Scrolling further down, I can see the withdrawals history. So this tells me if I have withdrawn my commission, when and how much commission I've withdrawn. The last time I withdrew commission was on the 23rd of May, and I withdrew my commission for the month of April. And the total of my commission was $10, and I withdrew it to this PayPal account. So how do I withdraw commission? Basically by coming to my sales balance and selecting the month for which I want to withdraw commission, right? In this case, I don't have any pending bookings from past months. So when I select any past month, it tells me there are no commissions pending to withdraw from this period, right? But if, for example, during the month of May, I made reservations which were successful, meaning that the traveler didn't cancel the reservation or I didn't cancel the reservation, I would see here the amount of commission for each of those bookings that I can withdraw. I can withdraw the commissions of May from the 15th of June onwards, right? So if, for example, I'm booking a reservation today, that's 29th of June, I'll be able to withdraw it on the 15th of July. Next, we have the change password field, which is simple, right? You need to enter your existing password and the new one if you wish to change it. Some companies have some security protocols which force you to change your password every so often. We totally recommend changing your password at least 4 times a year to ensure that your password is secure. So you can change your password from for Mozio.com by clicking on the change password button. Last but not least, we have the book new trip button, which takes me back to the home page, right? And it gives me the opportunity to interact with the search engine and make a booking. So in order to search for the results or for the available options in a specific location and make a reservation, I need to enter 5 pieces of information, which you can see here in front of you on the screen we're in. The first one is the pickup location. We have coverage worldwide through a series of networks of providers. Now, we do have point-to-point reservations at select locations, and I would say they're becoming more and more frequent where we have point-to-point reservations. That being said, our strong suit is bookings to and from the airport. So that's the use case that we're going to look at today, making a reservation from an airport to a point in the city, right? So in order to find the airport, the first thing you can do is enter the name of the city that the airport services. So say, for example, I enter the city of New York. I'm going to see JFK populating as an option, LaGuardia Airport showing as an option, and also an airport in East 34th Street. I didn't even know that existed. In any case, when you're searching for your airport, you can enter the name of the city to find that airport. Now, say for example, you don't remember the name of the city, but you don't you want to use something else, right? You can also enter the name of the airport. So, for example, the main airport servicing the city of Rome is Leonardo da Vinci Airport. So, if we search Leonardo da Vinci, oops, no space there. Oh, yes, with space. Ah, there we go. We see that the first option for Rome, it's an airport because we see the little airplane icon there, and it says airport right below. So we see Fiumicino, Rome, Leonardo da Vinci Airport. So you can select it from the drop-down list. Last but not least, I can also enter the 3-letter IATA code that basically recognizes that airport for the IATA organization. Say, for example, I'm booking a ride for a customer that's traveling to London. I can enter LHR for London Heathrow, and it'll give me the options that are available to book at Heathrow Airport. Now, when we're talking about the drop-off location or the place my customer will be taken to, I can enter either the name of the hotel or the street address, right? So I can enter, for example, Holiday Inn and pick from the correct Holiday Inns available in London, right? London and streets is tricky because the streets in London have certain codes and stuff. So I'm not going to select a street address for London. However, our system also allows you to select landmarks as the drop-off location. So if I were to say, for example, Trafalgar Square, I can also select Trafalgar Square as the drop-off location. Why do I say it's tricky? Because if you're going to Trafalgar Square, that's all right. The driver will pick you up from Heathrow and take you to Trafalgar Square. However, being picked up from Trafalgar Square, and Trafalgar Square being actually a big place, it may be tricky finding the driver there. So I don't recommend picking a pickup location where we enter the name of a landmark, because finding the driver at a landmark is not as easy as finding it at a specific street address. Now, last but not least, we can also book rides to train stations. So, say for example, I want to be picked up at King. I want to be taken to King's Cross. Um, no, let's do St. Pancras actually. There. So if I enter St. Pancras, I'll see that it has the name of the train station, and it has a little symbol that, if you look really close, it looks a little bit like a train. So that basically means that this first entry here is the entry for St. Pancras train station, not to be mistaken with St. Pancras neighborhood, because St. Pancras is also a neighborhood in London. And we've had cases of customers saying, I want to go to, or I booked a ride to St. Pancras and it didn't take me to the train station, right? And it is tricky when the train station is named after the the neighborhood where they're in, or the neighborhood they're close to, right? So make sure you pick the entry that has a little icon for the train station next to it, so that your customer gets taken to the correct location, right? We're gonna stick to the Holiday Inn because I know that hotel and I know that it gives me the good results that I want to see. And the next thing we're going to do is select a pickup time and a pickup date. For this particular exercise, I'm going to select a future date, right? Because I want to make sure that I see options available and that I have options that I can later on cancel. Now, pickup time is another field that usually gives us a little bit of doubts when we're booking, right? And you'll see here right below, when you've entered an airport as a pickup location, you can choose from pickup time or from landing time, right? This basically means that if I pick pickup time, my driver will come pick my passengers up at the time that I've specified on this field, the pickup time field. However, if I toggle it to landing time, the driver will come pick my passengers up at the time the flight lands, right? And that's where I need to be careful, because if I select flight landing time, I need to be mindful of how much waiting time will my booking include, and how much time do I think my customers will take to exit the plane all the way to where they'll need to find the driver, right? Particularly when we're booking for large families, people with mobility issues, or people who are traveling with a lot of luggage, like myself, who you know will need to go to baggage claim. You may want to stick to pickup time, right? Because that will allow you to, if necessary, select some booster between the flight's landing and the customers needing to reach their driver, right? Say, for example, the customer's flight lands at midday, right, at noon. So I want to give my customers 1 hour to go through migrations if they need to do so, to get their luggage if they need to do so, and that should usually be sufficient. So I'm going to For a flight landing at noon, going to select 1 p.m. Number of travelers is usually pretty straightforward, right? One thing we do need to take into account is everybody who's boarding the vehicle is a traveler. So if they have kids, the kids will be counted as travelers. If there are pets, you may want to state a special instructions, which we're going to see later on, specifying that they're traveling with pets. In some instances, they may be counted as travelers. In the majority of cases, they need to go in a pet carrier, right? So either a kennel or a specific bag that's designed to transport pets, right? That's mainly for security issues, right? So I'm going to leave it at one. The last toggle that we see is a round trip toggle. So if you're booking a ride to the airport, sorry, from the airport to the hotel, and you wish to include within the same reservation the ride from the hotel back to the airport, you can click on this toggle for the round trip, and it'll basically ask you to enter the date for the return ride. Right. So say for example, I'm staying for a fortnight in London and my flight departs, I don't know, at 8 p.m. So selecting the pickup time here is key, right? So 8 p.m. means, and I'm traveling internationally because I'm traveling back to France, right? It means I need to be at the airport 3 hours before, and I need to take into account that Heathrow is not close to London. So I may need at least 1 hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, right? So if my flight is leaving at 8, I may want to select a pickup time at 3, right? It sucks. I mean, 5 hours before, but we want to err on the safe side. I'm very squeamish when I'm traveling back. So I prefer to spend some time at the duty free shop rather than being late for my flight. So I'm going to select 3 p.m. for my flight leaving at 8, and I'm going to err on the side of caution, right? For this particular exercise, we're not going to book a round trip. So we're going to book just a one-way trip. And the next step is going to be clicking on the search button, which is going to show me all the options that are available from Heathrow to the Holiday Inn on the 15th of August at 1 p.m. The, the options are sorted by recommendation, and typically our recommendation goes from budget options to more expensive options. So within the budget options, we have the express bus and the express trains. The difference between the express buses and trains and the other services is that these are not door to door, right? Well, a train you probably know, like it can't go out of the tracks and take you exactly to the front of your hotel. The bus is pretty much the same. It could go into the hotel, but being a large bus, it may not be able to circulate smaller roads. In any case, these are not door to door services. So you're shown here where you take the express service, where does it take you, and how far away from your end location it is. So in the case of like Heathrow Express of the National Express, you take it from Terminal 2 or 3. It takes you to the Victoria Coach Station, and from there you're almost 2 miles away from your airport. In the case of the Heathrow Express, also it has stops at Terminal 2 and 3. It takes you to Paddington train station, which is almost 1.5 miles away from the Holiday Inn, right? You may have noticed that this ones have schedules. So the benefit of this specific budget options is that you're not tied to a specific time. You can you can select the times that are available from the schedule, or you can simply show up and hop on the next train or bus. You may also notice that we show the right time. This is an approximation, so it's not to be taken lightly, right? It could be, and this is actually wrong. It's no way it's 15 minutes. I don't think so. Um, this one is 55 minutes. It could be longer because we need to account for traffic, and this estimation, unfortunately, does not. So take that into account when you're looking at the right time. It's usually pretty accurate, but it may sometimes not account for the weather. It may not account for work being done on the route or traffic. So adjustments may be necessary. You'll notice as well the price, and you'll notice that next to it, you have a price that's marked off. And why is this? So we've talked a little bit about commissions, but we haven't actually specified what your commission is. The way the Mozio Travel Agent tool works is that out of the public rates that we have to the regular public, to travel agents, we offer a 5% discount. So your net rate is not the regular net rate that the public sees, but the public net rate minus a 5%. So that 5% in between quotation marks is your commission. Now, it doesn't mean that from this $14, you get 5% commission. No, it means that on the next page, you will be able to add commission to that $14 rate, right? So moving forward with the types of vehicles, Mozio has different types of vehicles based on the different locations where we offer services. London is the one that I picked because I know that we have express buses or trains. In the majority of locations, you will at least have sedans, private vans, and SUVs. In some of them, you may encounter as well limos, private buses, and taxis. In locations where there are shared services available, you may find shared vans. And in locations where um, going on a sedan is not an option, like Venice, for example, you may find water taxis. So different locations have different options. In any case, as long as you enter a pickup and a drop off location, you will be shown all the options that can take you from point A to point B. If a body of water needs to be crossed, those options will contemplate the crossing to the island or the crossing of a river, for example. Let's pick a sedan from here with holiday taxis. I can see that they have a good score. They have a 10 score, 10 out of 10. So they are a pretty reliable provider, right? So I'm booking a sedan with our provider, Holiday Taxis. I can see the cost of the ride is $107.26. I can see that there's a $2 service and safety fee, which is basically for the use of our platform and the upkeep of the service itself. And I can also see that because I have a 10% markup as default on my profile, it already added $10.41, and that's my commission. Okay. If my customers wish to pay gratuity in advance, they can do so. I can add the gratuity either 10, 15, or 20% as I prefer, right? We've seen the customer profiles that I can save to my personal dashboard. Now, when I select them from this drop-down list, it basically updates all their personal information on my booking screen, which is convenient because that way I don't need to worry about entering over and over again. If you don't select a profile, it'll already keep the information there because I already entered it, right? But if you don't enter a profile, it'll ask you at the bottom of the screen if you wish to save your client profile to your dashboard, right? So that's that for the profile. And as you see, it has all the information. We talked a little bit about special instructions, right? If, for example, my customer has any special need, or say, for example, my customer is being picked up from a gated community and you need a code to enter their neighborhood. In that case, you may want to provide the driver with a code. Here is where you would do it on the special instructions field. The same goes for things like oversized luggage. If your customer's traveling, say, for example, on a ski tour, you want to specify that they'll be bringing ski equipment or golf equipment or musical equipment, right? If they're traveling with a pet, you want to specify that they'll be traveling with a pet, right? That way, the driver can take any necessary precautions in order to ensure that the ride will be fulfilled satisfactorily. Um, if your customer's traveling with a child and they either need a baby seat or a booster seat, you can also specify it here on the special instructions field to ensure that the driver will bring a suitable child seat or a suitable baby seat or a booster according to the age and size of the kit. Scrolling down, you'll see a field that'll allow you, because we've selected a flight going to from an airport, it'll allow you to enter a flight number, right? So you can find a flight number by entering the first two letters of the airline code, or if you have it on your customer's um, flight itinerary, you can find it already on the flight itinerary, right? So you can enter the flight number. What's the advantage of having a flight number associated to the reservation? That first and foremost, that the driver will know where to pick your passenger up, right? So Heathrow has, if I'm not mistaken, 5 terminals. If we don't give the driver a flight number, they won't know where the customer has landed, right? So having a flight number basically allows our driver to know, okay, this passenger landed at Terminal 3. That's where I need to go pick them up. Additionally, the flight number allows the driver to track the status of the flight. So if the flight is delayed, up to 3 hours, the driver will wait. So if that kind of gives the customer also a sense of security in that, in spite of their flight being delayed, they don't need to worry about their driver not being there. As you can see, this particular provider allows me to select a child seat or a baby seat directly from the booking page. So I can click on this button and add the child seat or the child booster or the baby seat to the booking, right? So the last step is the payment. So I can select the credit card on file in order to complete the payment of my booking. One thing I forgot to show you before we move forward is this. Each of our providers has a specific cancellation policy. Express buses and express trains are usually non-cancelable and non-refundable because they are the budget options. But the rest of the service typically have a cancellation policy of their own. Typically, it's 24 hours. I don't know why I selected the one that has 48 hours, but the vast majority of our providers offer a 24-hour cancellation policy. This basically means that if you need to make changes to the booking or cancel the reservation, you can do so and get a full refund or implement the changes to your reservation up to 24 hours before the ride. In this case, it's 48 hours, but still, I'll have the ability to cancel and get a refund or make changes to my reservation up to 48 hours before the time of the ride, right? So that means that 1 p.m., because I had selected 1 p.m. as the pickup time in London, I'll be able to make changes, right? So 1 p.m., I selected the 15th, so that'll be on the 12th of August, right? So when I click on book, it'll basically confirm my booking. Oops, I need to update that. Sorry about that. These things happen. See, it told me that my credit card's declined. That's also a good thing to show you. Not everything goes right all the time. When you have an issue, when you don't have sufficient funds, or when your bank didn't approve of the purchase, maybe because it doesn't recognize the page you're on as a page that you typically use, 4316. It may just cancel the reservation. In this case, it's a card that I no longer use. So it makes sense that it wouldn't recognize it, right? Let's add another one. Here we go. There we go. And 426. And there we go. I'm going to book, and then I'm going to proceed to cancel that card for security reasons. And because we're recording this, so we don't want this information to be leaked. There we go. Card canceled. So now that I've booked my ride, I'll get a booking number, which we can see here. I'm also reminded of the itinerary, August 15th, departing from Heathrow, going to the Holiday Inn in Kensington High Street. It gives me information that it's important for the customer to get about their ride. So it gives them the contact information to the local provider in case they need to, information on how to find the driver, and what to do if they can't find the driver, right? It also tells me if I change my plans, there's no issues. I can cancel this trip up to 48 hours before the ride, right? And for some reason here, I'm not given the option to make changes, which is strange. But typically, I would have the ability of going, say, for example, here. As you can see, I went to my bookings and I have my dashboard with all the reservation details. Let me take a look at my emails. I should have the ability to cancel my ride, or at least to make changes to it. Nope, not here. And okay, I'm going to escalate this because it's not that normal that you don't get to make changes. In any case, you can certainly cancel the ride and specify why you have canceled. And as soon as you cancel, well, 24 hours after you, sorry, up to 7 business days after you cancel the ride, you're supposed to get a refund on the payment method that you've used for that ride. Let's actually make a different booking because I do want to show you how easy it is to make changes to a reservation. July, let's do 1 p.m. Most flights arrive at noon, right? So I know I'm safe when I'm picking 1 p.m. Let's do Carson Plus. Again, you see that my commission, because I specified it so on my profile, is calculated automatically, thus saving me the effort of having to specify how much commission I want to enter, right? I'm going to do American Airlines, and let's do 12:30. In this specific case, it also gives me the option to add meet and greet service. This basically means that the driver will be waiting for my customer with a sign with their name on it. The alternative to meet and greet service is curbside pickup. So the customer may need to call the driver, may need to check in at a booth or a desk at the airport, and that's not always as convenient, right? It sucks that I turned off my credit card because that means I'll need a new one. And let's get one real quick. There we go. First and last name, my card number. Oops. There we go. Odette. Sure. Thank you, Odette, for participating. We'll be sharing the recording shortly after the call. It processes and then it's sent to you. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks for your
You're
time.
welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome. So as you can see here on this option, we do get the option both to cancel or to change the trip, right? And if it's for a booking that I've made before, I can simply go to my bookings. I'll see the one that I've canceled, but I also see the one that's pending for JFK. I go to the details and I can make changes. Say, for example, my customer has moved to a different hotel or they've changed their hotel reservation. Let's do, for example, the Waldorf Astoria. Here we go. It'll update the availability of this specific provider. And if this provider is not available, it'll give me different options. Let's take that back. It's basically searching all the database for a provider offering the same level of service, right? So I can go with Limo Start New York. It'll show me whether there's a price difference because I've selected a different location, right? And it'll give me the option to pay for um, that difference. I have actually canceled that card, so I cannot use it again, but I can still use the credit card that is on file for the same booking in order to update it and pay the new balance, right? You simply confirm the changes and it allows you to move forward, creating a new booking with a new booking ID so that you can give your customer. Your customer also gets a new voucher, a new confirmation email. So that's that. I'm going to cancel this trip because, of course, this is just a demo, so I don't actually need that, right? Um, and that's pretty much it for when it comes to what we were going to look at on this specific demo for the Mozio Travel Agent tool. Odile, well, you're still there. I don't know. Well, Odette and
Yes, I
Tabitha,
am. I am.
great. I'm happy that's the case. I don't know if you guys have any questions that you would like me to answer.
No, I think you've covered all the bases. I don't know about the rest, but on my side,
Great.
yeah, very easy to
Awesome.
use. I'm looking forward to using your platform. Thank you so much for this lovely session. Um,
Great.
yes, I look.
I'm happy. I'm happy that's the case. Tabitha, did you have any questions for me?
I do have one question. First of all, you
Yeah.
did an amazing job with explaining everything. And the platform it is very, very intuitive and easy to use. The
Mhm.
one question that I had is like when it displays the type of vehicle, specifically the sedans for private transport, are those the type of sedans that they're going to actually receive? Because I noticed that, it might be like it didn't really specify the make or model or anything like that. And,
Mhm.
I just want, the client, of course, to have a good experience.
Yeah, so we don't guarantee the make and model of the vehicle. We do
Mhm.
guarantee the type of vehicle. So if you book a sedan, you're going to get a sedan. If you book a van, you're going to get a van, and if you book an SUV, you're going to get an SUV. We do have as well differentiation between classes. So you have standard, economy, business, and first class, and they typically match the type of vehicle that the provider typically has assigned for that specific vehicle class. So for a standard, you'll see that it's a regular Volkswagen. For an economy, it doesn't really specify here for Cabs and Plus, but it is going to be like on the economy side of the sedans. For the business, it jumps up to a more not necessarily luxury, but more high-end car. So it has a Lincoln Continental in the case of Eli's Limo. And in Kiwi Taxi's first class, you get a Mercedes S class, which is pretty nice.
Mhm.
Now, the bacon model of the vehicle isn't guaranteed, but if, for example, it's not a Mercedes S class, it may be an Audi. Uh, I think I suck at cars, to be honest. So I think the high end of Audi is like the five something or A5.
A5.
Yeah, so it would be sort of like in that same uh, category or level, right? Um,
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
of course. Any other questions that you would like to ask?
No, that's it. Like I said, you did a great job with explaining the platform. It looks like it's very easy to use, so I'm really excited about it.
Thank you. And if you have any doubts, of course, feel free to reach out to me or for faster services to our support team at info@mozio.com. We offer, as you may probably know, 24/7 support both by email and by phone number, by phone. So you can call our team or email our team, and you'll get an answer pretty quickly to any questions that you may have. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tabitha, for showing up, and hope that we'll talk again soon. Bye.